Now, last time we talked about finding the surface area and volume of prisms and cylinders. Today we're going to focus on finding surface area and volume of pyramids and cones. Now, the difference between pyramids and cones versus prisms and cylinders is that pyramids and cones only have one base, while cylinders and prisms have two bases. So let's start with pyramids. So for a pyramid, we have, looking at this diagram here, at the bottom we have a square base with side S. We have a height of h. Notice that the height is perpendicular to the base. And then we have what we call a slant height. It's labeled here with a cursive L. So that slant height is the measurement from the top of the pyramid to the bottom edge of the base. So to find the lateral surface area, now this is the area of everything other than the base. So really you're finding the area of four triangles here. Now the measure, remember how to find the area of a triangle, is 1/2 base times height. Now you'll notice here that the base is S and the height of the triangle is the slant height L. So 1/2 times S times L, and we've got 4 of those. So when you do 1/2 times 4 times S times L, you end up with that 2 times S times L. Now the total surface area includes the area of the base. The area of the base is simply the area of a square, which is S squared. So S squared plus the lateral area of the pyramid. Lastly, we have the volume, which is 1/3 times S squared times h. Now h here, remember, is the height of the pyramid, and that must be perpendicular to the base. All right, take a look at example 1. Find the lateral surface area, total surface area, and volume of the pyramid below. So in this example, we see here that we're given the side S, which is 6. We have the height h, which is perpendicular to the base, that's 4. But we still need to know what the slant height is. So this measurement here, which I'm going to label as L with a cursive L. So in order to determine what this is, what we can do is we can actually draw one more line here, and you'll notice that we've created a right triangle. Now since we know one leg of this right triangle is 4, the other leg is going to be half the measure of the side, which is 6, so this will be 3. Now using the Pythagorean theorem, we can find that 3 squared plus 4 squared equals the slant height L squared, 9 plus 16, which is 25, which gives us a slant height of 5. Now that we have that, we can find the lateral area. That's 2 times S times L. So 2 times 6 times 5, which is equal to 60. And since this is an area, our units are going to be square centimeters. All right, now let's find the total surface area. So the total surface area is S squared plus 2 times S times L, the second half of which we just found. So this is 6 squared plus 2 times 6 times 5. So this is 36 plus 60. And that's equal to 96. And again, we're finding an area here. So this is 96 square centimeters. All right, now let's find the volume. For the volume, we have 1/3 S squared times h. We actually don't need the slant height here. So this is 1/3 times 6 squared times 4. And that comes out to be 48. And since this is a volume, this is going to be 48 cubic centimeters. All right, take a look at example 2. Given the volume below, find the value of h. All right, so remember that the volume formula is 1/3 s squared times h. We have s, which is 9. We want to solve for h, and we are given the volume 270. So let's put everything we know into the equation. So this is 270 equals 1/3 times 9 squared times h. Now 1/3 times 9 squared is equal to 27. Divide both sides by 27 and we get that h is equal to 10. And in this case, h represents the height, so this is going to be 10 meters. All right, now let's take a look at surface area and volume of cones. So with a cone, we have a radius measurement down on the bottom. Since the base of a cone is a circle, we need to know the radius of that circle. We have the height, which is perpendicular to that circular base. And then we have a slant height, which is the distance from the tip of the cone to the edge of the cone. And again, we use a cursive L to represent the slant height there. All right, so the lateral surface area is pi times r times L, the slant height. The total surface area means that we have to include the area of the base, which is a circle. So this is pi r squared plus the lateral surface area, pi r L. And then the volume is 1/3 pi r squared times h. Okay, so for this example, we are going to first start off by finding the lateral surface area. Now, we are given the radius r, and we have the slant height L. To find the lateral area, you would find pi times r times L. So we actually have all the information that we need. We don't need the height to find the lateral area of the cone. So this will be pi times 3 times 6, which comes out to be about 56.5. And since this is an area, your units are going to be in square feet. Now we can find the total surface area. That's going to be pi r squared plus pi r L. And since we have the radius, this is going to be pi times 3 squared plus pi times 3 times 6. Make sure you square the 3 first before you multiply by pi, and that gives you 28.3, and then we'll add the 56.5 with that. Adding that together, we get that this is about 84.8, and this is an area, so the units are going to be in square feet. Okay, lastly, we're going to find the volume. So that means we are going to need to find this height, h. Now, how do you find the height h? Well, if you look at the information that we already have, we actually have one leg and the hypotenuse of a right triangle. So let's apply the Pythagorean theorem here to find h. So that means we have 3 squared plus h squared equals 6 squared. And we'll solve for h. So 9 plus h squared equals 36. Subtract 9 from both sides, and then take the square root of both sides. And we get h is about 5.2. So we'll use 5.2 as our height in our calculation. So the volume is equal to 1/3 pi r squared h. So we have 1/3 times pi times 3 squared times 5.2. And that comes out to be about 49. And this is the volume of the cone. So our units are going to be cubic feet. All right, our last example. Given the volume below, find the value of h. Now, since we're working with a cone here, I'm going to start off by writing down the volume of a cone. Now, we're given the volume. We are given the radius r, which is 5, and we need to solve for h. Let's put everything we know into this equation. So we have 785.4 equals 1/3 pi times 5 squared times h. And then we can simplify this 1/3 times pi times 25, which comes out to be about 26.2. Divide both sides by 26.2, and we get that h is about 30. Now, since h is the measure of the height, our units are just going to be in feet. So the height is about 30 feet.